Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Sever7, and today we are taking a look at the Rike S-05 V2 or the S-06. And we can talk in a minute about why it's got two different names. That's with the ultimate goal, of course, of seeing if it's worth adding to your collection or your daily carry rotation. Now, this knife was sent to me by the Lefty Pass-Around group, and it goes back to the Lefty Pass-Around group as soon as my review is done. So I don't get to keep it, which kind of sucks. That's all right, though. And this was designed and manufactured by Rike. Now, Metal Complex did a video on this, and he had some pretty strong opinions. And I have a tremendous amount of respect for Metal Complex's opinions. And there's times where I agree with him, and there's times where I don't. So it's important to always do your own research and have your own experience. But I watched his review on the Rike S-05 V2, and I don't know that I entirely agree with him. So let's jump into it. So right out of the gate, elephant in the room, we've got the dual smiley faces. Meh. I mean, it's subjective. I don't think they add anything to it. I don't think they add like any meaningful design language. I think they would have been better off just going plain all the way around, minus the faces, or doing some nice milling, right? Maybe a bolstered look would be cool, but they didn't do that. They went with these weird smileys. If you don't see quite what I'm talking about, we have an eyeball, a mouth, and a nose. If we flip it over, we have an eyeball, wacky hair, and a mouth. And they're kind of symmetrical. Just two dudes having a blast. So, as far as the rest of the knife goes, it is smooth titanium. The pivot is anodized on both sides. This is, they say Damascus, but I want to say, and it might be, but it looks more like zirconium to me. But we'll go with Damascus. And then back here we have Damascus backspacer that has two copper liners on either side of it. I think this is an awesome look. The Damascus goes all the way down, and it's kind of floating down here, if you can kind of see the gaps. I think this is a beautiful design touch. I think it looks fantastic. Huge fan of that, and they give you so much. This is like 3/4 backspacer, right? So they weren't like skimping out on it whatsoever. The pocket clip is a deep carry, non-reversible, milled, we'll say Damascus pocket clip. We do have this odd carbon fiber inlay, which is really weird. Like you barely even know it's there. It just kind of seems out of place. They wanted something under the titanium or under the pocket clip that I guess wouldn't scratch the pants, but I mean, if you look at how the clip's done, it looks like it has plenty of surface area to not rip your pants apart. So I don't really know why there's that little piece of carbon fiber there. I don't know, maybe somebody in the comments knows better than I do and can tell me. No spot for lanyards. Oh, I take that back. They actually have a little hole inside the Damascus, so you could, it's like a pig snout, you could actually get a lanyard in there now that I'm looking at it. So yeah, they do have a little spot for lanyards. So as far as the design goes, I love some of the elements here. The Damascus, the copper, the pocket clip. I think the pocket clip looks incredible, like the design and shape of it. Metal Complex made a point in saying that the pocket clip was so sharp, it could be the knife itself. I will agree with that. This pocket clip is sharp as hell, but we're going to jump into ergonomics. Whenever I hold the knife, I don't feel that pocket clip at all. I don't feel the point. Like if somebody grabbed the knife right here and tried to yank it out of my hands, okay, sure, that pocket clip might catch me, but they put the pocket clip so high that like it's not even a hot spot. Yeah, the tip is sharp, but if I'm never touching the tip, I don't care. So ergonomically, this knife is very comfortable. You can you get a full forefinger with a little room to spare, a full forefinger grip with my large size hands, and you can post up right here in this dip, or you can bring it forward and you can post up right here. I know you're looking at this spot like, is that a finger choil? Can I choke up? So yeah, if you look at the tip right here where the edge terminates, the tip is at the very end of the finger choil, which means you cannot come up here and conventionally grab it like you want to, but you can pistol, like trigger squeeze it. And I know it looks like I'm burying my finger in the point there, but I'm not. I can trigger squeeze it, and I wouldn't use this to bear down, but I can use it for precision, right? So if I needed to make some sort of like really fine-tuned, careful, surgeon-like cut, I could do that and be perfectly fine up here. But you want to be mindful when you go in. Like, you almost want to like just put your finger here and kind of like roll into it, right? Come here, roll into it. Because if you just come up here and grab it, you're gonna bury your finger into the tip here, and you're gonna cut yourself. So it's not the best, but it is perfectly functional. We do a functional jimping up here. It's not painful jimping, and I know it looks hyper aggressive, but to be honest, they give you full space to just post up, just land right here, and then you're locked in. It's not uncomfortable. It doesn't hurt. It'll hold you in place, even if I push into it fairly hard, because of how much surface area each oh man, what is it called? The surface area each jimp has, even though they're kind of like wide canyons in between, they have enough surface area that I feel pretty comfortable. It's like the nails on the bed thing, or nails for a mattress. Like if there's enough nails there, you can lay on it. It doesn't hurt you. Yeah, I feel the same way here. Like the jimping looks harsh. It's really not. Oh man, I just got another kind of visual. So it's like an upside down smile, and then this is an eye, and there's just no eyeball over here. So it's like a looking face, and then you've got these two little like dimple things, I guess, and then this one big eyeball. Yeah, that's yeah, weird. But ergonomically, I'm fine. I've been holding and using this knife, and it hasn't bothered me a bit. I haven't been doing anything crazy hard with it, but I found this knife to be like very comfortable. Like not just, man, I can deal with it. No, I mean, this knife is very comfortable in hand. I don't know where the hot spots are. Maybe I've got like superhuman hands, right? Because I'm not horrifically calloused up. Like I do have some weightlifting calluses, sure. But like, well, I got this wicked callus right here. I'm not even sure what from. But it's not like I've got shredded hands that can just deal with everything. Like, but this, I don't know where the hot spot is. I can't find it. I tried. I even tried thinking, okay, what if I was a real big wuss? I still don't find the hot spot. So that doesn't make sense to me. Sharp clip or not, if I don't feel it, I don't care. Let's jump over and talk about this blade. This is M390. We have this blade's got a few things going on. I'm going to call this I'm going to say it's a drop point Tonto with a recurve. So something to note is that there's blade shapes that describe the top side of the blade, right? Nothing going on down here will determine if this is a harpoon shape blade or not. Nothing up here will determine if it's a Tonto, right? If it's a Tonto, you're going to have a point here and a point here. And if it's got a harpoon up here, it's a harpoon Tonto. And if it's a harpoon Tonto and a recurve, nothing up here makes the knife a recurve. Down here makes the knife a recurve. So if you have, three different things going on with one blade, that's okay. You just have to declare what's going on up top, what's going on with the tip, and then what's going on down here. So we have a drop point, tanto, with a recurve. Or you could just say tanto with a recurve. Because there really isn't a whole lot going on up here. But you get what I'm saying, right? You might have several different names stacking on top of each other, describing what's going on up here, like a harpoon, what's going on here, like a tanto, and then what's going on here, like a recurve. Overall, I'm a big fan of this blade shape. I like recurves. Some are more useful than others. And admittedly, I don't sharpen my knives a whole lot because I don't use them a whole lot. Typically, I don't have them long enough to dull the edge. And the stuff I do isn't very taxing on a knife anyway. But I like recurves, and this one I would say is highly useful because, one, you've got a secondary tip right here, which is part of the tanto. But this is right, you can just put this right down and you can use that all by itself to slice. But you also have this big useful belly for slicing, right? So it's easy to get the belly down. You can rock back and forth, if you're, I don't know, like mincing onions or something. You can just rock back and forth just like this. Pretty easy. You can slice through boxes. It's a big, robust blade, a thick blade stock. But it's built to slice, This is a flat grind. We have this big, handsome, oversized swedge. Looks fantastic. The overall general look of this knife, I think it's very handsome. It looks really good. Like, I'm a big fan of the overall aesthetic of this. Could do without the smiley faces. So I'm fine with the pocket clip. I'm fine with the jimping. Don't care for the smileys, but those are whatever. Now, let's talk about the action. This has... the acoustics are out of this world. Right here. So we have what's called double clutch. And what that means is the blade has to go... Oh, here, let me show you. The blade has to go all the way to here before it passes the detent. And then down here, it's free falling. So ideally, you would want to disengage and have the blade pass the detent while the flipper catches your finger, and then you can close it. But if you're up too high, then your finger blocks the flipper before this can get past the detent, which means you're just kind of floating there. So now you either have to get it just right, or you have to kind of shake it shut. It's just annoying. Because like when you disengage, you want it to be kind of effortless. See, if I disengage right here, I'm just stuck. So double clutch is annoying. What I found though is, with a little bit of effort, I can get about this halfway point. Oh, missed it that time. Here we go. I can get about right here with my thumb still being caught. And then it'll close fine. Now the gamble you're running is just like it did me a moment ago. This blade will fall right on your finger. That part sucks. But with practice, it does become a lot easier to get it to drop, kind of catch on you, and you can keep moving. But if you don't want to deal with that, I totally understand that. One way to get around that is to do a flipper delete. Because, well, I say that, but this blade comes down pretty quick. So, at your own discretion. I would do a flipper delete, and then I would just close it like this. Kind of let off some of the pressure. You get it. I hope you get it. I don't know if it's making sense or not. But, yeah, double clutch always sucks. But like I said, you can't get to a point where it's like, okay, it's still kind of catching you. You can get out of the way safely. Now the actual action, fantastic. The acoustics, fantastic. I will say Metal Complex had some feedback for this flicking hole, and his feedback was that it's awkward to get to. Well, if I try to reverse flick it with my nail, I'll agree. It's annoying to get to. Sorry for the shake. But if you just use the fat of your finger, which I've been doing with almost all of my knives now, I almost never use my nail. If you just put the fat of your finger in there, you can deploy it just fine. It's not even awkward. It's only awkward if you like actually like bend your knuckle to get in there. It's a little weird. But if you just use the fat of your finger, it flicks just as easy, if not easier. And it's second nature. You don't have to try to figure anything out. You don't have to really do anything. And I mean, as you can see here, I'm even like through this video, I'm getting better at finger flicking it, dropping it, getting it past the clutch, and then closing it, right? So yeah, there's a learning curve. And some people are going to say there shouldn't be. It should be second nature. If there's a learning curve, then somebody at the factory screwed up. Then I can get that. Yeah, you shouldn't have to do a lot of extra work to get it to have to open and close your knife. You really shouldn't. But for the people that look at this and they're like, oh my God, I love the design, I have to have it. But watch Metal Complex's video and it's like, oh my God, I mean, yeah, I love it, but it's like a train wreck of a knife. Well, partially, there are some things that are a little annoying, but it's not nearly the train wreck that I thought it was going to be after watching Metal Complex's review. And don't get me wrong, this isn't to say that he's wrong. I'm not saying that at all. This is subjective. This stuff is like your experience. So like objectively, if you try to open this the way he did with his nail, it's awkward. It's just awkward. Like that is what it is. It's awkward. Objectively, this is an incredibly sharp pocket clip. But for me, since I don't feel the clip at all, I don't feel it whatsoever, I'm fine with it. That's not a problem for me. And since I can flip this open, with the fat of my finger, well, this is no longer awkward for me. And since I know that I can disengage a little bit lower and still have a normal drop shut for the most part, that's really not a problem for me either. And this is stuff that, I mean, I've had the knife for about a week, but it's been in the pocket pretty consistently for about 3 days now. And this is all stuff that I just kind of picked up, you know, just tweaking around with the knife. These things, for me, took the knife from being unbuyable to, well, now it's a pretty damn good knife. And my little workarounds make this like a very fun and enjoyable knife to have. Because I do think the action's phenomenal. I think the faces are stupid, but it is what it is. I love these touches back here. I think they look great. And if I can deploy it fine and disengage it fine, you know, and I'm not having these issues, like the personality of this knife starts to really stand out. And I really like it. I don't know if he had any other specific concerns. I know he didn't like the ergos. I not only tolerate them, but I actually like them. I enjoy the way this knife feels in hand. And the deployment's good. Action's fantastic. I don't know if he had any other specific concerns other than the aesthetics, but all in all, if you don't mind, oh, he said this was sharp. He had a problem with the flipper tab. And I'll say, if you put all the pressure, like if you come and you meet this at the edge and push it down, sure. But I don't think anyone actually does that. So I use it as a push button, but I come from above. I follow where the little jimps are, and it snaps out. It's not painful. It's not even annoying. I've flipped this about 50 times on this video, and I forgot to bring up that he said anything about the flipper tab. I forgot because it's not a problem. That's no concern. If it was that sharp, I wouldn't have forgotten. I'd have been like, oh, this is so sharp. I need to say something. I didn't even remember until I stopped and I thought about his video. So, yeah, I mean, it's almost like we have two separate knives, to be honest. Let's do some size comparisons. Now, this thing comes in, it's a big boy at 8.27 overall inches. We have a 3.5 inch blade, and that gives us a blade to handle ratio of 75%. And we have an overall weight of 4.59 ounces. We'll start with the milled aluminum Civivi Brazen, third best Civivi ever made next to the Visions. And we're coming in pretty close to the same size. I don't want the breaker to be part of the contest though, because it's not functional length. Okay, so it looks like we're coming in maybe 1/4 of an inch bigger than the Civivi Brazen. Let's go ahead and grab the Real Steel Sylph. And the Sylph is quite a bit smaller than the S-05 V2. And let's go ahead and grab the best budget knife of the year so far, the Migaron Gotov $29 knife, and fantastic for the price. Hilariously smaller than the Rike S-05 V2. Now, I did say we were going to talk about the naming of the knife, and I'll be honest, I thought that said Rike S-06, because there's already a Rike S-05. On the website, they say S-05 V2, and this just says, now that I look closer, it just says S-05. So I thought the blade said S-06 and the website said S-05 V2, but now it's just as confusing because this says S-05 and there's already an S-05, and it doesn't specify anywhere that I can see V2. So, but I guess it is, yeah, it's definitely a 5. So yeah, I guess it's just S-05 V2, which is fine. So final thoughts. There are some annoyances with the knife, namely the double clutch. It would be my biggest annoyance. But it's got great fit and finish. It has excellent ergonomics. The action is kind of loud. It's chunky. It feels fantastic. I like the acoustics on the way up and on the way down. And I would say, you know, this isn't an inexpensive knife. This knife is fairly expensive. It's like $325. The materials and the build quality, I would say, are pretty at home around $300. In reality, this exact knife as it sits, I would honestly like to have seen it at, like, I don't know, I think $285. Like $275 seems like a super good deal. You know, but I think $285, honestly, $275 would be amazing. Up to $299. I would be very happy with this knife at that price point. I think that's perfectly fair. I mean, $325 I'm not too mad at, but I really think hitting this at $299 would have been phenomenal. Well, you know, ideally at $285, but, you know, under $300 would be great. So, but I'm not too mad at $325. I mean, you look at the copper they have, you look at the Timascus they have on here, and the fact that it's Rike build quality. I mean, it's premium manufacturing. So to be honest, I think $325 is actually fine. I don't even know why I'm saying it should go lower. It's Rike, for crying out loud. The stuff they do is amazing. And if the ergonomics aren't a problem, which they aren't for me, if this thing isn't sharp, which it isn't for me, if the deployment isn't awkward, which it isn't for me as long as I use the fat of my finger instead of trying to cram a finger in there, it's not awkward for me, then yeah, this is a super recommendable knife. I mean, I guess if you have like hypersensitive hands, you know, or maybe if you deploy it from this point, like if you put your finger directly on the point, I guess if you try to hurt yourself, you're going to hurt yourself, because I really can't see how this flipper can be like painful. Like, so if you slam your finger right here as hard as you can, and then from that point deploy the knife, then yeah, you'll hurt yourself. Otherwise, this thing's fine. There's nothing wrong with this flipper tab. And even if I did have to cram my nail in here, it's fine. Like, I guess I just don't see where the negativity was coming from. The faces are weird as hell. And the double clutch can be annoying. No doubt. But that's it. The rest of the knife is great. I'll go as far as to say that I really, really like this knife. Initially, I didn't. After watching MC's review, I didn't. Getting it in hand initially, I didn't. But after I had it for like a day, and I kind of got some of this stuff like figured out, I'm a really big fan of this knife. It's gotten so smooth. The acoustics are great. Like, it's just a good knife. And, you know, so, you know, I know I was back and forth there for a little bit, but to be honest, yeah, it's just a really good knife. And, you know, Rike manufacturing at $325, I think is a fine price. Still would have liked to see it below 300, sure, but, you know, 325 is whatever. And if you buy it from like White Mountain Knives or something, you'll get 10% off, which will take it down below 300 anyway. But yeah, this is a great knife. I feel comfortable putting my name on this and saying, yeah, buy it. I think you will enjoy it. I think you'll be happy with it. Especially if you like this aesthetic. So yeah, I totally sign off on this. Just a dope knife. All right, well, that's about all I have for you guys. Let me hop down off my high horse. You know, let me, you know, stop acting like I'm the king of the knife world. And, you know, if you like the video, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. I appreciate that. I have a link for this guy at White Mountain Knives, because that's going to be the best price you can find. Use code S7 to get that 10% knockoff. That would be, you know, what would that be? $32.50 off would put you at like $293.50, I think, if my math is right. $293.50. So, you know. But yeah, that's all I have, guys. Your support, your comments, your interactions have all been fantastic. I know this video went longer than I intended it to, but for those of you that actually stuck around to this point, you're the best. Actually, if you did stick around to this point, just randomly put like the number 5 in your comment somewhere. I'll know who the real ones are. It's like, comment whatever you want, but put the number 5 anywhere in your comment, then I'll know you're a real one. All right, much love, guys. Until the next time, peace.